proving that the fandom menace isn't just angry males. It's toxic femininity, brought to you by Midnight's Edge After Dark, with Mecha Random 42, Mary Mayhem, and Miss Sarcastic Nerd.
Hello there, everybody. This is Tom Connors. I am your announcer for this evening. We have some lovely ladies with us. First off, let's say hello to Miss. How are you doing, Miss?
I'm doing just fine.
Also known as Miss Sarcastic, of course, since there's probably many, many misses. Mary, Miss Mayhem herself, how are you doing this evening?
I am just lovely and thrilled to be in the company of these beautiful ladies, and you, the ringmaster, of course, Tom.
As we're always thrilled to be with you. And we also have the Red Harpy herself, the ninja goddess.
It's a little weird. The theme music wouldn't play. Demon angel, ninja warrior, goddess,
Ninja.
Finally remembered goddess.
vampire hunter,
Vampire.
alien,
See, I think she would be a vampire before she'd be a hunter. Anyway,
folk singer,
random.
metal singer,
Female Blade.
new lead vocalist of Halloween.
A woman so dangerous she has her own theme song.
Not to mention, she's wearing leopard, and she knows I like that.
Hey, it's the jiggle top, right?
You distraction from heaven.
We have to have the jiggle top, right? I've been streaming all day, so of course the jiggle tops for the stream.
And that jiggle was for free.
I'm completely and utterly contented with that.
Everybody to toxic femininity. The ladies are going to take it away now. We've got a lot of fun stuff to talk about.
Well, sure, guys. So we do have our first sort of topic of the evening, which is this whole Avengers Endgame actress Lexi Rabe debacle going down. I've seen a few videos pop up about that today. I think I saw one from Anna, one from Josiah Rice, and I watched one from the Quartering as well. I know there's a few articles running around out there. How Lexi Rabe has sort of put up this little video, and a message has been put out by her mom to please stop bullying her and her family. And I think it's an important thing to preface that with the fact that nobody, and I feel confident in saying this, nobody on this panel, under any circumstances, condones the bullying of little girls. I don't think we should have to say that. I don't think that that's something that necessarily.
Not even if they like Ghostbusters 2016.
Not even if they are madly in love with The Last Jedi.
Not even if they're really creepy ghost little girls.
Now, ghost kids you can punch.
No, okay.
Get my proton pack out.
That reminds me of a game I was playing where you have a little creepy ghost kid that comes out of every bed.
That is so many games, though.
It's a VR game. It's like one of those VR terror, face your fear experiences. And of course, like that night, of course, I'm dreaming that there's a little ghost kid next to me. So of course, I wake up punching and wake up swinging.
See, I would still take the risk that Mecha might punch me if I could just snuggle next to her at night. Like, that sounded more creepy than I had anticipated. I just never think about it.
That's okay, Mary.
I mean, I don't punch people on purpose. It's just that the ghost kids are coming after me.
What if you don't punch a ghost kid? That's chasing you.
We're perfectly sane.
Usually. I'm not. I'm a demon angel, so.
There's an oxymoron there that with it brings a certain level of imbalance. But it's a gorgeous imbalance. Nonetheless, sorry, I know I'm hardcore hitting on Mecha. I'll get it together, I swear. So
don't bully little girls.
Don't bully little girls. I can't believe we need to preface that. Don't bully 7-year-old girls. People are stupid. But that being said, near as I can tell, there is no actual hardcore evidence that she's been bullied. Is that right?
Yeah.
I think they've deleted all the posts. So according to like the mother's Instagram post, and from like as best I can gather by kind of reading between the lines and reading what the little girl said and what her mother said, because the little girl really stresses, hey, I do get timeouts if I'm acting silly in public. You know, I'm a kid, but I do get disciplined. So, and that's like the best I can say that I can kind of decipher. The mother also in her post was saying something about, I need to pull this up if anyone has that and wants to pull it up and read it. My translation of it was that they were out in public. Somebody wanted an autograph. The kid was in a mood because it's a kid. She was probably cranky, throwing a tantrum or something, acting silly, as she put it. And somebody got pissy and told them how to raise their kid, because even the mother like kind of goes on and says, yes, people raise their kids differently. We raise our kids differently. We do discipline her. We might not do it in public, but we do discipline her. So that's kind of my best guess, is that she might have been acting out in public because she's 7. And somebody posted on her Instagram and decided to come after her parents or something and saying, oh, you should call Child Protective Services or you should have her taken away. This is my speculation. Of course, I haven't seen the posts. I'm sure they've been removed because obviously you don't want your kids to say that. But it was something that they were coming after the family for some interaction.
Yeah, I think for the most part, you can expect. You have sort of a weird dynamic there, right? Like and I agree with you, Mecca. I think that this is sort of a situation where you had a kid who's being a kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of parents are not comfortable with, disciplining their children in public. And I get that. And kids being kids tend to take advantage of that, which is like completely and utterly normal. I've had that situation with my own kids. You used to have a video of it, Tom.
Yeah, I have the little girl talking anyway here.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys want to hear that quick?
Do we want to play?
Yeah.
You can. They were 7 years old, and I mess up sometimes.
Can we turn it up at all?
Yeah, I'll need to retry and if it'll let me redo it here. It's an Instagram post.
And Dad gave me tons of talking.
Let me restart it.
Hi, I'm Lexi Wade, and I'm only 7 years old, and I mess up sometimes. So.
Like, there's one man in Florida who claims to have seen Avengers Endgame over a...
Sorry about that.
Believe me. And if I go anywhere and I'm acting a little silly or messed up or anything like that, I'm just 7 years old. Please don't bully my family. Or me. Bye. Love you, 3000.
Oh my god.
She might have just been acting goofy.
Yeah, and it's hard to know without exact context for it, right? Well, here's what we do know. We know she's a 7-year-old kid, right? Mm-hmm. Who literally says herself, my parents discipline me, right? So I think it's probably correct, Mecca, that you're pulling like this sort of scenario of like a mom or a parents with their 7-year-old kid who got caught in a situation where she was being a kid, wasn't acting necessarily perfectly, and somebody didn't think it was great. And I think there was something about an autograph or something.
I think so. Tom, do you have like the mother's statement that she wrote on Instagram? Or?
Trying to find it here. Let's see here.
I think I know where to find it.
Okay, I think here it is. If this is it, I hate that we even have to post this, but yet again, Lexi's getting bullied, and this kind of thing makes it celebrities never want to leave the house. That's how it's written. I'm serious. Never want to meet people. Please keep your opinions to yourself so Lexi can grow up in the free world. She's a normal human being. She's a child. We give her a talking and we give her timeouts, and we don't do that in public. Sometimes we're rushing from place to place, stressed like everyone else to get to set on time or work or whatever, and we seem a little grumpy. I'm sorry if you see us this way, but that's life. If you ask us for an autograph, we almost always say yes. If we happen to be having a bad day that might put us right on the right, We are not perfect. These perfect children are not being given the freedoms. Okay. And the rights. I'm trying to read this. It's not very well worded. That they should. If your child is so scared to be themselves in public and mess up a little, then you're overparenting. We give our children plenty of rules and boundaries, but then give them the freedoms to mess up and learn from their own mistakes. They would not be on set and on movies if they weren't well behaved. Trust me, they have no desire to hire kids like that. And there were plenty of children that productions can work with. So if you see us in public and you think you have the right to judge, wait. Number one, until you have children of your own. And number two, realize that we're not perfect and we're not claiming to be, but just try to realize the different strokes for different folks. What you do with your kids may work for you, and what I do with my kids, well, for me. My children love me and respect me, even if they act out sometimes. Thank you, Jessica. So, yeah, I mean, that seems to be the case from what I can see here.
And it's hard to know exactly what these quote unquote attacks were. We just don't know exactly what they were. We do know that she felt prompted to obviously make a response, but then again, people make responses all of the time. So we don't know exactly how bad the attacks were. It seems like somebody went after her about her parenting style.
Mm-hmm. Which the thing is I mean, when it comes to certain situations, when your kid's a celebrity, you should be a bit prepared to get people who are going to be like that. I mean, if they're attacking your kid, yeah, that's messed up. But if they're attacking, you're an adult, and they're an adult, and your kid's a celebrity, people are assholes. That's just what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Well, the child herself seemed relatively clueless about this in the video that she made, which I think is probably a good indication that the mom did a decent job of sort of insulating her from that and sheltering her from that to some extent. But at the same time, like, you kind of don't do a very good job of insulating her if you've got a 7-year-old with an Instagram. And I get the mother runs that, but isn't there like an age limit on that of 13 or something?
Yeah, but no one ever listens to the age limits on things. I got a Facebook when I was 9.
Yeah,
it was 13.
This I just think is a bad idea, right? Like you're talking about a 7-year-old girl, right? You're talking about a girl who's sitting at like almost not even half the, like sitting at like half the age roughly of what you need to be to even have an Instagram in the first place. And I get the mom runs it, but why are you exposing her to anything on there?
Yeah, that's the problem. If it's something where people are saying, hey, your family shouldn't do this or should do this or whatever, why would her mother let her see that and know about it? Why would her mother, it not just show her, hey, here's somebody drew a fan art picture of you, or somebody really loved your performance in Avengers or something? Why would she not show her only positive feedback if she shows it to her? I get that you want the social media to like connect with other, producers, writers, directors, so that they, so you have like a rapport with them, so they're more likely to hire you and put you in your next movie. But, yeah, but so it's kind of a double-edged sword. Like when you're a little kid, then yeah, you probably don't want one unless you're like in the business. But
well, doesn't it seem? And look, I'm not trying to dogpile on this woman because I, as we prefaced this with earlier, we do not, under any circumstances, condone bullying a child or bullying anyone for any at that like in any case. We don't condone bullying. It's a ridiculous thing to do. Find better stuff to do with your time, but especially a 7-year-old child. But I do have a concern here for a mother who puts her child in a video, makes her child aware of the bullying in the first place, right? Because if this is something like Instagram, you have every ability in the world as a mother to protect your child from seeing this stuff. There's no reason why your child at 7 years old should even be exposed to it, let alone making videos begging people not to do it. It just sort of feels a little disingenuous.
And it's probably not going to help. I mean, obviously it didn't help since people are discussing it. But yeah, making a video telling your daughter to tell people to stop bullying you is not going to help her at all.
Exactly. And well, I just wonder if they did it like in person, and then they posted it on the Instagram, because it seems like it was an encounter that happened in person. So I wonder if like somebody didn't just yell something as they were rushing by or something.
Which is always a possibility, but I don't think like blowing it up even more so by putting your daughter in a video like that and exposing her to that kind of stuff is in any way helpful.
Right.
You're an adult, you address this kind of stuff. You don't put your daughter in a video and put her on the internet out there for the world to see. I think that that's potentially bad management. It does. It does kind of seem like she was using her kid to defend herself, as opposed to protecting her child from exposure to it in the first place, which I think is highly suspicious, and I'm a little concerned about that. I know you have a super chat, Tom, so I don't want to keep you from getting to that.
Nope, I was fine with letting you continue, and we do have a super chat from Chef Carolyn Dunlap, $5. Thank you so very much from me and the ladies. Here is a little something to get your butt to Vegas and protect our favorite YouTube harpy. Thank you so much. That's right. You can also help Mecca and us get to Vegas with our GoFundMe's if you want to.
Yes, and Odin, we are gonna bring that up. I did just link the Twitter in there.
Yeah, I was gonna wait until in between here.
Yeah, we are gonna bring that up. I talked about that a little on my stream this afternoon too.
Yep, and I retweeted it out, so we're all definitely on the same page here. It needs to be addressed. Do you guys want to address that now, or
we could just move on to that if you want? Unless there's anything anybody had to say about this, I'm fine with that.
I'm good with it.
Yeah, I think we've covered this. Yeah, and I did link the tweet in here if you want to pull it up on screen.
Oh, sure. If not, I'll just share that in the chat for now, since we're gonna. Oh, the other one. Never mind. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's all right.
You meant the one with the little girl. Okay, here we go. Yeah, this is something going on right now, guys. So be aware, especially if you live in the same area. You can go ahead and take this, ladies.
Okay, so we know Anna, that Star Wars girl. She's a good friend of all of ours here. And so her little sister, it's her birthday today. She's 22. I woke up to the news she's missing. My brother and I are trying to figure out a way to track her through the phone, but I'm still scared and insanely worried. Could everyone please retweet this so we can find her? Now, her other sister has a thread going here, so you see some pictures of her. And this is that's the girl who's missing. There's another tweet in this thread that shows what her car looks like as well. I believe so. We can.
I don't think it's in this thread.
I was gonna say,
it's in one of them. It's in one of the threads from the other sister. Let me see if I can.
There it is. Oh, there it is.
It's right there.
Yeah, there it is.
There we go.
So that is her. That is her license, and that's the back of her car.
Yeah. And of course, under normal circumstances, we wouldn't be showing license plates and stuff like that. We need to find her.
If you've seen anything, heard anything, please definitely get a hold of the family or authorities right away.
Absolutely. And retweet it, guys. Make sure that you get this retweeted out as much as possible, because the more that we can spread the word, the more likely it is that she's to be found. So at 22 years old, she's still fairly young, and she may not be equipped to deal with a situation like this. So do your best to kind of get the word out, get it spread around and tweeted, because even if you can't go out and be a part of the manhunt, you can make sure that people are aware that people need to be aware of this. So
yeah, there's more information on her profile about where she was last seen, where she could be if you're in those areas.
Yeah, we can say San Ramon, California, in that area. So
yeah, more info. Check out that Star Wars Girls page, right?
Absolutely.
And I'll share your Twitter page on the thing here.
Yeah.
All right, continue, ladies.
So I was a little concerned, because if I don't know if we want to go back to the Lexi Rabe story in terms of the Ironheart stuff. We didn't really touch on that.
That's up to you guys. I didn't know if that was really relevant or not in this situation, because it sounds like it's pretty much been ironed out now.
I think it was on the table for people who weren't really sure what it was about initially. But as near as we can tell, that's just speculation from the in terms of the possible whitewashing of Ironheart for Lexi Rabe to potentially take on the role, or Iron Man's daughter, in terms of his daughter within the movie. I believe the name is Morgan. that being a whitewashing of the role. As near as we can tell, that doesn't have anything to do with the situation. Although I am kind of curious to see how the media will wind up spinning this narrative. Like,
I think they're already talking about it being whitewashed and stuff. And I genuinely think they might be, now that I really think about it, they might be just using that little girl as a way for her mother, to say, don't bully me. And it kind of just feels like they're exploiting her, maybe to get her name out there a little more.
And that's a big concern. I think, honestly, we have to stop and take a step back as adults. Even if you're not a parent, as an adult, you should be, internally protective of children, right? And recognize they can't protect themselves. And there is a big red flag that goes up for me when you have a woman who's sticking her daughter on screen to make excuses for her behavior, right? No, that's your job as a parent. You address this, you insulate your children from this, you protect them from this. You try to keep them as blissfully aware of the horrors you can find on the internet as humanly possible, because the internet is no place for children, right? Like the wide world web, or the World Wide Web, is no place for children to be running around without supervision. So I'm not really sure why a mother would take her child and use her and have her make a video. Please don't bully me. Of course, our dearest and sincerest instinct is to protect this little girl. And no, it's not an excuse for people to do it. But I will say that it does seem a little strange for an adult woman to stick her daughter on camera and have her beg people not to bully her when she shouldn't even be aware of it in the first place.
Yeah, the more you guys talk about it, it sounds like that's the case. Yeah,
but I don't want to
or she
fully.
Video herself. Oh, sorry, miss.
Yeah, I don't want to completely just dogpile this woman. What she did wasn't really the appropriate way to go about the situation she was in. She should have expected that kind of feedback from people, especially being the mother of a celebrity. But I don't want to completely attack her. We aren't completely aware of what's actually going on with her. There could be more that we're not aware of, but what she did do was inappropriate completely.
No, and we're not suggesting that makes it okay for anyone to go attack this woman or this child, right? We're not suggesting that. I do think that it's worth discussing.
Yeah.
Because we all immediately think to ourselves, oh, a little 7-year-old is being attacked and bullied on the internet, and we all jump to her defense. And of course, that's reprehensible. But let's not allow our emotions to put us in a place where we can't take a step back and objectively look at, our emotions get manipulated all the time, though, right? And so sometimes it's important to sort of step back and go, what are we don't have all the facts here. We do not have all the facts here. Well, all we know for certain is that a Please Don't Bully Me video was made by a little girl, and a statement was issued by a mom concerning the way she raises her children. That seems like kind of weird sort of mom behavior to me. And she's an adorable little girl. She's a wonderful little actress. She was very sweet, and I loved her in Endgame. And of course, I'd probably ask for her autograph too. And if I were in public and I got turned down because she was having a bad day, the first thing I would do is respond by going, oh, poor kid. All right, well, thanks anyway, because that's how decent and moral people act around a little kid who hasn't got herself together. But if someone acts stupid, you don't respond by acting stupid. You respond by looking around yourself, grabbing your composure, and trying to calculate, well, how do I deal with this situation, right? Not sticking your kid in front of a camera and having her, please don't bully me. I think that was a bad maneuver on her part. And it does speak to potential not the best parent behavior ever. And
yeah.
If the initial issue is she's not parenting her child right, this goes only to sort of further display.
Yeah, right.
There's been many videos of parents videoing their kids talking about how they've been bullied, severely, with them talking about how much they hate school and don't want to be there. And I think those are different situations as well. Yeah. So she was probably going for that sort of take, but didn't recognize that the situation was different.
Mm-hmm. the context matters. The context
Mhm.
always matters. You don't have a full picture without context injected into it. And this is not a little girl being bullied at school. This is a mom who doesn't like that she was told potentially, you know, like, hey, get your together as a parent, and then suddenly, oh, everybody's being bullied. And I'm not saying that that's exactly the case. I'm saying it's sort of, if you connect the dots a little bit, it looks like the case to me. Maybe don't stick your kid in front of a camera and have them make excuses for your parenting. Just saying. But you should not bully 7-year-olds. Let's make sure that's really clear.
Shouldn't bully anybody.
My heart goes out to the little girl. She shouldn't be harassed. She shouldn't be bullied. She shouldn't be mistreated. But more than that, she shouldn't even know what's going on.
Yeah.
So,
Definitely.
this is why my kids don't traverse the internet without me right there.
Here's the thing: don't tell parents they're raising their kids wrong too. I mean, what business is it of yours, right? If you really think that they're doing something abusive, call Child Protective Services, call the police. But you know, if they just don't give their kid a timeout right away, maybe that's not your business, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
I just think it was handled poorly on all sides. And yeah, you know, you're right. It's no one's business how another person parents their kids. Of course, we all have those thoughts inside our head, like, man, I'm taking my kid to the bathroom and be done by now.
I mean, unless their kid comes up and like kicks me in the shin, you know, then I might say something, right? But
yeah.
No, or steal something of mine, right? It's like, don't, you know, but if it's just a kid being goofy or loud or whatever, you know, how we know she might have not been just singing at the top of her voice, right? That's all. She said acting silly, you know, maybe she was just acting silly. She's an actress. Sometimes they play make-believe. We don't even know what she did, so we don't know what the issue was.
Yeah. I just think it's important to take a step back and remember not everything is what it seems like on the face or on the surface of it. So and hopefully this will clear up quickly and there won't be any issues moving forward. And I would like to see this little girl have a happy, carefree life. And hopefully she doesn't have to deal with this anymore because she's a cute little 7-year-old. Leave her alone.
Yeah.
Leave Brittany alone.
And she does have a point too about the if the kids were misbehaving, they would not hire them in Hollywood. There's a million kids out there, and you need a kid who's personable, who can look actors in the eye, who behaves well on set. Like, they are not going to put up with these little temper tantrum shits. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if
she
did anything bad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
They didn't pick her because she looked like Tony Stark, that's for sure. They picked her because she was a good little girl, man. She's cute. We got a little lisp on her.
That was like, that added to the whole video, her lisping words and saying W's instead of R's.
Oh, she was playing it up. She knows she's cute.
Yeah.
Let's not forget she is an actress. I'm not condoning
Yep.
it.
She's an actress.
Professional. The biggest movie of all time, folks.
Yeah. She makes more than us combined, than all of us combined.
All of us combined 3 times.
Like, probably more than 3 times.
Well,
Like,
let's be fair. She probably didn't get paid that much, but still.
No. I don't want to even think about the math on what that child made for that movie.
Oh, God.
But still, either way.
Honestly, she probably didn't make much more than scale.
Mm.
But what this did was open 100 million doors for her.
Right.
True story.
But I think go ahead.
We probably beat that horse to death. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know Miss had something.
My anger at the new Terminator crap.
I don't know what's going on now.
The purest of rage. So basically, I knew Terminator was going to be shit from when I first saw the trailer. I knew it wasn't going to be good. But a leak came out, and this was posted on Reddit, so it's not confirmed or anything. This is just a possible leak. There's been like 3 or 4 people coming out with similar versions to the same leak. Some of them slightly different than the other. But basically, they depict that John Connor is dead. They have killed John Connor. Shortly after Terminator 2, he gets killed.
Maybe we should preface this with potential spoiler alert.
Oh, I've heard this.
I've
I've heard this for a while. Yeah.
It's not confirmed. I could not be true. There's also one where he's not dead and he's just living his life somewhere else and doesn't matter anymore.
It is so weird that you would bring back Sarah Connor and leave John Connor completely out of it.
Yeah, well, there's the thing is about him being killed, though, that's possibly confirmed is that an actor, I can't remember his name, that looks like what's his name, Edward something from the first.
Ed Furlong.
Yeah, he looks like him, and they think, and he's been confirmed hired to come in and do like a younger version of him from Terminator 2. So he's probably going to be in there, and they're probably going to kill him. And what happens is not only he's no longer the leader of the Resistance, and Skynet no longer exists. It's now this thing called Legion. They've gotten rid of Skynet, and it's called Legion now. And Sarah Connor. What?
Wouldn't it defeat the purpose of the previous movie?
Exactly, but there's more crap. Sarah Connor is probably a Mary Sue. Now, probably. She's this Terminator hunter. She's getting the information of where Terminators are, and she's been going and killing them. That's what she's been doing since John died. But that's what she's been doing, and they go find the guy. Like, it's stupid. The lead basically gets rid of everything, and Sarah Connor's a badass, and the new leader of the Resistance is this girl called Danny, and she's Hispanic, I think, that they got across there. It's, in my mind, what they're doing is, if it's not broke, go woke. They're just doing the same storyline from Terminator 2 and the first Terminator, and they're changing the characters a bit and making it woke. And
I love that. If it's not broke, go woke.
Yeah.
Wow, I love it. You coined that today. Patent that shit.
Trademark it as my
TM.
Yeah, but they have completely ruined the Terminator series. This new movie gets rid of everything that happens after Terminator 2 and basically destroys the purpose of Terminator 1 and 2.
Wow.
And it's just another series that they've taken and gone, how much money can we squeeze out of this movie?
I was actually kind of excited to see Sarah Connor on the screen again, you know? I don't know why they had to drag John Connor into it at all. Like, why would you kill him?
I want to reiterate that it is a possible leak, a potential leak. We don't know if these are true. I think some of it is. And even still, without it, the other issue I have with Dark Fate is if you're going to do another Terminator movie, end the series. They've never ended the series.
No, they can keep making them that way.
Yeah, but, you know, when I want to see how they end the war, how John Connor defeats Skynet finally in the war, because Judgment Day always happens. They made that clear in Rise of the Machines. But since Rise of the Machines is no longer a thing, is no longer canon, since for the new movie, which Rise of the Machines is actually my favorite, surprisingly. But Judgment Day was always going to happen. Skynet was always going to come and take over, and there was always just going to be John Connor leading the Resistance against Skynet in this great big war and apocalyptic world version of Earth. I wanted to see them actually defeat Skynet, but they're never going to do that, as seen by their new movie.
Didn't they kind of do that one in the future?
They didn't defeat them. No, they just, I don't know really what happened.
They were supposed to do like a trilogy and they never finished it. That's why.
Yeah.
I think was the plan.
I will never understand this psychotic need to decanonize stuff just to rewrite stories.
It's for money. They want money, and they can't continue.
Because it's worked once or twice. That's why.
Yeah.
I mean, like, where?
Halloween.
Yeah.
Crickets.
Like, I don't know, it just seems sort of suicidal, like the quickest route you can possibly think of to destroy a franchise.
Yeah, they've taken another series that I love and smashed it into little tiny pieces and told me to like it. So I'm getting a little, tired of everything and have considered moving into the woods and living in the woods in like a tree.
I'm going with you. Take me with you, please.
This sucks. I'm so tired of them destroying everything I actually care about. I don't have much of a personality, but a lot of it is based on the crap that they're currently ruining for me.
I don't know a lot about myself, but I know this. I love Terminators. Stop it.
I love sci-fi stuff. I love all of the things that they have currently destroyed.
No, but what she's saying is important, and I don't keep meaning to interject here, but Miss is right. I mean, when people are like, oh, why do you guys care so much about what they're doing? It's because they're not just messing with, entertainment. In some people's cases, they're messing with large parts of their personality, things that mean a lot to them. I mean, a lot of people go to church at the altar of Star Wars. I'm sorry. It's just what it is, And when you fuck with people's religion, they get a little upset.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Just a little bit. I love discussing this stuff. I love discussing Star Trek with my dad, or what would happen if these aliens actually came to Earth? Would we react the same way? Like, I love talking about that stuff. I love talking about how lightsabers work and the fighting styles difference in the prequels to the original series, like the nerdy things that we talk about. And it's not as fun to talk about it when the show sucks.
Right? Right. That's why I keep telling people, like, we don't want bad stuff. We want everything to be good. I want to go in and love every movie as much as I loved John Wick 3, right?
Yeah.
And I don't love every movie. I didn't even like Endgame that much. Right? There's a lot of these things because it was a downer. It was a bummer. Like a lot of these movies,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's just a lot, just like you said, a lot of this, or we all said, this nerdy stuff is part of our personality. I was raised on this stuff with my dad. My dad introduced me into this amazing nerdy world that I am a part of. All these cool things I'm into that I've never actually gotten to talk about with other people other than my dad, because I am a nerd and no one else is. Apparently, that is a girl. Girls like talking about clothes, which is gross.
But we have each other now.
See, I don't mind talking about some clothes. Those are like
nerdy clothes.
Yeah.
Nerdy t-shirts, which apparently I can't find. You have to get them online.
Oh yeah, it depends on. Yeah, it just depends.
Completely off subject, but
we're girls. They've owned that up front.
Yeah.
They literally owned that coming into the stream. You are watching girls on screen, guys.
Yeah.
But yet, sometimes we're going to stray off into fluffy shirts. And get a little excited about frilly shit.
Yeah.
Oh God, did you see? You guys saw that, right? Those pink shorts for boys.
The lacy stuff.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, pull that up on Twitter if you can.
That Josiah was gonna get for Jeremy.
Yeah.
What are you on about right now?
Hold on, I'm gonna see if I can find it.
It's just something kind of funny to kind of laugh at since we're talking about clothes on a clothes tangent.
Okay, Twitter's not loading. That's annoying.
Super chat.
It was Harlan Ellison. They're destroying our modern myths. Yeah, kind of. They kind of are.
Thank you so much, Black Phoenix, for the $5 super chat.
No, you're not wrong. They are destroying our modern myths because we have this. We have this sort of memory and this culture, where we all love the same thing, and you can bond over, Star Wars or Star Trek or whatever geeky thing. And when you have nothing else in common, you can say, you have a Rebel Alliance sticker on your car, right? And that's an icebreaker a lot of times.
Yeah.
But people just don't get that. People don't care anymore. Like these big studios don't care. They just see them as money, and they don't see them as things that we actually treasure and value and respect, because they don't. They don't respect them.
Yeah.
And remember when it was fun? Remember when it was fun to talk about? Remember when it was fun to get into debates, and they were friendly debates. And even if you got heated, like just for an example, for the like couple of people of you that might have caught my stream this morning with Lethal Lightning, I got into a friendly debate / argument with Riot Kitty, where we went over, Ruby, and the fact that we land on completely different sides of the subject did not matter when the discussion was over, right? Despite the fact that we got heated at points and we're like raising our voices, and I was like, hold on, let me finish, right? Like,
Yeah.
we even got to that point where we're like virtually yelling at one another, right? At the end of the conversation, we found ourselves at this place where we were able to say, but you know what? I respect you, and I respect your right to an opinion. And at the end of the day, like, we don't have to agree to still value one another and value each other's rights to an opinion. Remember when we could do that? Remember when we could do that with one another about these things that we loved? Now you can't do that, because, as Miss said, if it ain't woke, or if it ain't broke, go woke, right? So
If you catchphrase, it's hard to catch on, but you'll get it eventually.
I think you'll beat it into me, Miss. I like it. I like it quite a lot. But you can't do that anymore, because, they're ruining our favorite stuff. And if you say anything about it, you are immediately a sexist. You are immediately a bigot. And God forbid, well, you're dealing with 3 chicks right here. So how about don't fuck up John Connor? How about that?
I would have loved nothing more than to see Edward Furlong back, even though he's fat and crazy and everything else. I had a crush on him when I was like 10 years old, and I would love to see him back. I'm sorry. It's like a Corey Feldman or something, I can't not love the guys. And I'm so sad that if he doesn't come back. Like,
they're gonna make him sleep down. And I believe the Terminator that kills John Connor is Carl. They're calling him Carl.
Carl.
So Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Great. She would take $2. Thank you so much. He says 3 hot girls.
Midnight. I saw the thing. I meant to say Tom, but it was like Midnight is not a girl.
Well, he was one time.
There's 3 of you, so.
I mean, you still have the wig, right?
Yeah, I do. Put it on. That's a good point. But my camera's. I dropped my camera. I got to dig it out.
But yeah, I loved. I mean, I think the thing that might make me most upset about Terminator is the third one, Rise of Machines, is my favorite. That's my favorite one. I loved the female Terminator in it. I thought she was badass. I thought she was really cool.
Yeah, she can make her boobs grow.
Yeah.
She knew what would be appealing.
Yeah, I loved that. That's great. That was just my favorite. But I was telling my dad, I was saying, well, why didn't they do it where, since they thought she was dead in Terminator 3, but she didn't have they didn't show her body or anything, what if John got her from the past and brought her to the future to help him fight the war with him, and they thought she was dead during that time, but he actually went and got her. I thought that would be cool. Interesting plot, bringing it to the future, because they need to stop being in the past and changing timelines. They're doing the same thing with X-Men, with the timeline bullshit that makes no sense. I'm so tired of time travel changing things and just going in different directions and having different universes based on different times, but only one of them is canon.
Welcome to Star Trek as well.
Yeah. That is Star Trek, but it's fine. Star Trek.
I want to reboot my life, and I want John Hamm to play me.
Who would play me?
Another topic, right?
Cassandra Peterson.
Speaking of Star Trek.
Oh, what about Star Trek?
I thought you were I thought there was a thing about Star Trek we were going to talk about.
Oh, I thought it was Matrix.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. There's
So,
so many things.
Did you guys want me to take the lead on this one just to read the story, or what do you guys have it?
If you like, I have it sitting in front of me, but I don't mind you reading it. Like,
well, that's up to you. It's your guys' show.
Isn't Tom the sweetest thing ever? I do have it sitting here in front of me if you want.
Go for it. I'd rather listen to your voice than mine.
All right. Well, let's see here. I'll go ahead and screen share if everybody wants me to. I'm gonna pull this sucker up here real quick. Let's set this off to the side. All right. So Michael B. Jordan may replace Keanu Reeves in the new Matrix movie. Wow. I didn't know. I had no idea till today that that was even a thing. So it looks like John Wick director Chad Stahelski did indeed let the cat out of the bag when he said Matrix creators Lily and Lana Wachowski were at work on a new addition to that storied franchise. According to a rumor initially reported by Geeks Worldwide, the sisters have been working on a secret project that is actually a fourth Matrix movie, and the new star will be Creed and Creed 2's Michael B. Jordan. So, the Geeks Worldwide is hearing but cannot confirm that Michael B. Jordan is going to star in a new Matrix movie from director Lana Wachowski. The movie has been in development under the codename Project Ice Cream. What the fuck? This film is in active development and poised to shoot in Chicago, Illinois. Zach Penn wrote the script. Most notable, Michael B. Jordan has been loosely attached to the project for quite some time. MovieWeb elaborates on Jordan's alleged involvement. His name was mentioned back in 2017. At the time of the initial Jordan rumors, the Wachowskis were not involved. However, it appears things may have changed over the past 2 years, with Lana Wachowski possibly returning to the franchise. In May, Stahelski told Yahoo he was super happy that the Wachowskis are not just doing Matrix, but they're expanding what we all loved. His reps later indicated this was inaccurate. No one will complain if Jordan, a proven box office draw and reliably charismatic action star, is truly involved. But it's still hard to imagine a Matrix without Keanu Reeves as Neo. While his character supposedly died in the original trilogy, the thing about the AI-controlled universe of the Matrix is the way anything can happen inside it. There's probably some relatively believable plot loophole that will let him back in. And as MovieWeb notes, the rumors of Lana Wachowski returning, rumors of Reeves' involvement are more than likely to start popping up. Watch, it'll be just like Star Wars with Neo as the Yoda figure or something like that. We can only hope.
I swear to God, if they're hinting that Michael's going to be Neo, I'm going to shoot myself in the head.
No.
Okay? It's just what I'm going to do. If they're doing a prequel about Morpheus, totally for that.
Yeah. Yeah, they can do a prequel about Morpheus. Morpheus' story of how he got out. And like how he did. I wouldn't mind that. I don't like prequels, but I don't think I would hate a Matrix prequel.
I would not hate a Matrix prequel. I think it would be pretty cool. If Michael's going to be the new Neo, probably going to harm myself in some way.
No.
As to avoid seeing that film or hearing about
do not advocate self-harm here.
I'm sorry, Keanu Reeves could still be Neo because he's still pretty damn amazing. So no, anytime they reboot something and they recast Keanu Reeves, it is a total failure. Just look at Point Break reboot or pretty much anything.
Speed 2.
Speed 2, yeah.
I want to be excited. They could do it where there's an aftermath after Neo leaves and they have to take care of some of the agents that are left, or it's like not the Smiths, other agents.
Well, Jordan B. Peterson is an incredibly charismatic actor. I liked him in Black Panther. I enjoyed just about everything I see the guy in, honestly, because he's quite charming. But at the same time, nobody asked for this, and it's not like The Matrix ended on a high note. People, do you remember The Matrix 3? Like, does anybody remember? It was all like, meh.
I remember the music from it. I remember the music from it more than I remember the movie.
I watched it recently. I binge watched the series recently, so it's fresh in my mind how it ended. And it ended actually with a happy ending. And you don't make another movie for something unless it's like way later. They're saying it's a 4, like it's an addition. It's not its own thing separate from the original. That bothers me a little bit because it can't be a sequel to those movies because it ended happily.
Well, I mean, this depends on your perspective of happily. It was a pretty
it's like
mediocre film at best.
He stopped Smith and freed Zion. Zion lived like pretty good, ended on a happy-ish note, despite the death and the destruction.
Right. Well, I will say that they left plenty of room for another The One, but I just don't see it as necessary. I think it's destined to be another Men in Black International, right? Like, I think you're looking at a situation where fans left this franchise behind a long time ago. We left it behind on a note where we weren't particularly enthused about it. And I understand the Animatrix is a thing and there's some good stuff in there, but there's a much more niche aspect, right? Like a lot of people aren't even aware of the Animatrix, right? Let alone looking for another Matrix film. And I think if you're going to do something like this, you need to knock it out of the park. One of the big reasons why the Matrix was ever even popular in the first place was because of the effects in the film at the time. But those effects are incredibly dated at this point. And so at this point, I don't know what you could do to update that beyond something that we've already seen, but it would need to be mind-boggling. And you would need to be way ahead of your time at this point with that. And that's really, I really never felt like the movie itself was, I'm going to get slammed here.
Yeah.
I was never super into the Matrix. The idea is it's not like it's a new idea, right? Like even at the time, it wasn't necessarily a new idea. It was just kind of a weird way to go with a movie. It had more to do with the effects than anything else. I just don't see how they're going to make this fresh, new, and blockbuster material.
I enjoyed the series. I understand why some people didn't like it because sort of in the last two they mainly focused on action and the sort of philosophical or existential stuff that was going on in the film, which they could have evened out a little better. But I liked the story. I liked how they ended it. It wasn't terrible in my mind. I enjoy watching those films. But adding another movie to it, it's the same as my issue with them doing a Maleficent 2. The first Maleficent, despite some people's issues with it, ended on a happy note with sort of a set place for the characters, but then they're redoing it with the characters with issues again. It's very stupid because they're just doing it for money.
Yep.
You know, Maleficent, when she, at the end of the first movie, in my mind, became herself again, became a protector over the lands that she was protecting, and wasn't evil anymore. But now she's evil again, and that bothers me because they're just doing it for the sake of doing it instead of it being a story to add to the original story. But I feel like they're going to do that with another Matrix.
Just a cash grab. I think we're kind of at the point where a lot of these movies just really, really feel like cash grabs. Because they are.
And we're over it. We're totally over it. We have no interest in feeding into this frenzy anymore, Hollywood. Take the hint. We're over your reboots of franchises. Give us something fresh and new. That's what we want.
I want to love these movies coming out. Like I want to be excited for them, but I just can't let myself because it always ends up like this. I was excited for Dark Fate at the original idea, then I saw the trailer and I was like, this is gonna suck, I can tell.
Yeah. Well, because we're not idiots. We can look at a trailer and we can tell when something's going to suck. And so if you can't make this thing eye popping and souls like grab us and suck us in, then why are you wasting your money and our time? Because we're sick of giving you our money. We're very sick of our money. So now we're just sort of sitting here going, well, I guess I should just put on Netflix again. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at.
I just stick to YouTube anymore because I get so sick of the same old movies over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I am with The Matrix. Like I've already seen The Matrix. I don't need to see The Matrix again. what's next? What else you got? That's why I like that Banana Splits horror movie looks so
And
interesting.
they can't come out with anything. Oh yeah, the Banana Splits. I want to see that.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be terrible, but at least it's different.
I was laughing during the trailer. I thought it was hilarious.
Me too. I think it's just out on DVD.
What's that?
Isn't it just like straight to Blu-ray?
Well, yeah, it's this thing that sci-fi's been doing the last few years. They did it with, well, even though it wasn't rated R, but they did it with one of the newer Tremors movies, and then they did it with Leprechaun. They're doing Critters this year. They're supposed to have a new Killer Clowns movie coming, and then this is
Krampus.
But yeah, that's, I guess, the whole platform is they'll release it first on digital and Blu-ray in an R-rated form, and then I'm assuming they show it in a slightly edited form on Sci-Fi down the road, basically.
I have a feeling it's going to have a Krampus feel, and I loved Krampus. So
yeah, that's what it looked like. I liked Krampus quite a bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that does it for the stories. Was there anything else you ladies wanted to talk about before we go? I know the council's going to be starting here soon, so I don't want to.
I'm all set. Good to go.
All right, so I think we've had a wonderful show. Yes, that's right, Sadie. Yes, I know what's getting.
Dougie. I'll fill in for Rob. Get us, Sadie.
Yeah, get him, Sadie. All right. So, ladies, why don't you tell the folks out there in YouTube lands where they can find you? Miss, let's start with you.
I'm Miss Sarcastic Nerd, but you can call me Miss because it's easier. And I have a YouTube channel if you want to go look at that. I'm hoping to start doing more content. I did do a video last week about Finn, if you want to check that out. And you can find me on Twitter.
All right. That's right. Mary, tell the folks where they can find you. Yes.
Sadie, get him. Well, hi, guys. I am Mary B. I'm the mistress of Mayhem, disruptor of the narrative, and official Wham and card holder. You can find me over on my channel, Mary Mayhem, which I will link in the chat. And then I'm going to try to link Miss here real quick, too, as well, so you guys can find her. But yeah, hey, come on over. We talk about newsy news stuff during the week. And on the weekends, we have a little fun with shenanigans, karaoke, and other fun stuff. So yeah, I hope to see you guys over there.
Yeah, I got to get the links in the chat. I'm sorry about that. I'm slow. And of course, last but mostly not least,
Mostly?
I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. I got Sadie over here.
Dougie.
Miss Macarandom, tell them where they can find you.
I am Macarena42. I'm your favorite YouTube harpy. I have my channel, and you can just find me by clicking the link in the description. I complain about everything, and subscribe to me or else. I can do a lot of fun stuff too. Oh yeah, and we're going to be over at Star Trek Las Vegas. So will the guys from Night's Edge After Dark, if you give them enough money too.
Well, I think it's pretty much Sadie. One moment, I already know what's on top of the house. Yes, I know it's the roof. Yeah, we're kind of already got mostly everything set. Yeah, we just need a little just to kind of help along, just to make sure we have enough to cover everything. That's all.
So you'll be in Vegas.
We're hoping so. That's kind of the plan now. Yeah, just a few T's need to be dotted and I's need to be crossed. That's all.
Sweet.
I choked on air.
Well, until we don't kill Miss, let's get going here. And once again, of course, I want to thank the ladies for your time, and you guys in the audience for your time as well, for hanging out with us here. Thanks again for all the super chats. Hopefully we'll see you next week on Toxic Femininity with Mary Mayhem, Miss Mecca Random, and Miss Sarcastic Nerd. Thank you so much.
It's all the M's. The M's are confusing.
Yes, too many Misses and Meccas and Marys and all that stuff. Goodbye, everybody.